Alright, here we go. Finally, third one, comic book review, and this time it's now issue 7 to 12 of the Justice League. Okay, Geoff Johns and Jim Lee been both working in collaboration with this one. It has been pretty exciting so far. I know that some people have not been too pleased about how the Justice League has been written so far. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I think the biggest news really comes into issue 12, so we'll get to that in a moment. But we'll just quickly give you a quick summary of what's happened. So in issue 7, what we find is that let's have a look. Steve Trevor is liaising with the Justice League. We've got someone here sort of like talking over about the Justice League, and it turns out to be a guy by the name of David Graves, who's an author, and he wrote a book about the Justice League, and well, they're all, you know, he sees that they, you know, says that they're viewed as gods among men, and then you've got Steve Trevor here, as I say, who's in some ways sort of being interrogated about his connection with the Justice League, and you know, the government are wanting to gain access to, you know, meet the Justice League kind of thing, and Steve's pretty much saying no, not that's not going to happen. Relationship between him and Diana, interesting. So it's all about that, and as I say, what have we got? So yeah, he realises that he's in love with Diana, and as I say, you know, the way that the issue actually ends is with seeing this David Graves trying to chart out a plot, by the looks of things, against the Justice League. What is it? We don't know, but we will eventually as the issues go on. Let me just get this one in. Okay, and then by issue 8, we're in Green Arrow comes to town. Okay, which is quite interesting. Again, Steve Trevor is still being questioned regarding his connection with the Justice League. Green Arrow appears in this during the time that when I think just after Darkseid invaded. There's even Amazo as well. As I say, with Green Arrow joining, they're all not with, you know, they're not for Green Arrow sort of joining them kind of thing. But I think he was used as some sort of infiltrator to an extent to find out a bit more about the League and such. They mock him about his arrows, obviously, as well, especially Green Lantern in particular. But then even, you know, Oliver and Steve Trevor both meet up as well. They both discuss how should I put it, you know, about him needing access into the Justice League. Steve Trevor sort of makes him an offer. But what is interesting is, in issue 8, it was kind of the turning point for me, in that a question that a lot of people have been asking was in some sense answered, and it's to do with a certain Martian. Yes. I'll just show you the shot because it is awesome. I'm sorry. There it is. You can see that. That's it right there. It's an awesome shot. Yeah. I'm just going to leave that one there, basically. So anyway, after all that, we then get back to a bit more of David Graves. So I can get this back in. Damn you. There you go. It's a bit more about David Graves in issue 9, and he's an old man, pretty much ready to die, but he seeks the means to somehow stay alive, to gain power. So that's what begins his journey. Steve Trevor is dumped by Wonder Woman at some point. He's feeling that very hard. We see Lois in the Daily Planet. Clark Kent as well is there. Him and Batman are busy taking down criminals in Arkham Asylum, but it's not just him. Cyborg is in there as well. There's all sorts going on, but as I say, David Graves is pretty much at the centre of capturing the League, and to do that he has to start with Steve Trevor, and he does eventually get hold of Steve Trevor, and then it goes from there. What then happens is, well, he tortures Steve, doesn't he? It's just unbelievable the way that he tortures him. It's very, very brutal. I can't believe Trevor even went through that serious ordeal, just to not just save the Justice League, but to save his family as well. But he eventually gives in, unfortunately, just to protect his family anyway. But he gives in to David Graves' threats and tortures, to the point of where you get to this part where you can see the cover, they're in their graves, and we get a backstory regarding David Graves and how he became to possess the power that he has, and then we see Aquaman fishing a big cruiser out of the water. He's just doing his job, kind of thing. So that's pretty much what's happening. We're at the Watchtower. They find out a bit more about David Graves, how he finds out about his weaknesses, this, that, and the other. There's a mention of Patty Spivot for Flash from Green Lantern, and Flash is just like, of course I'm not going to tell you because you hit on my last date, 5 minutes after we sat down for dinner. So Flash obviously knows Hal Jordan pretty well, so that's very interesting. But in this issue, Graves visits the Justice League in the Watchtower, and then Wonder Woman goes to attack him, and well, it all sort of goes wrong. So they all try to take him down, but they're pretty much, in some ways, immobilized, and he's done it so well. It's quite incredible. Okay, so that's issue 10. We get to 11, and this is where it's pretty much crunch time for them. So hang on, here we go. So as I say, it's pretty much crunch time, and they all have sort of like reminiscence flashbacks to their early memories. Batman with his parents getting shot in particular. Superman watching Jonathan Kent have a heart attack. Green Lantern with his dad's plane crash. It shows them the misery. That's what Graves has done. He's fed his misery onto the Justice League. They've seen their own misery, and in a sense it felt so real that they thought it was actually happening. But then Graves actually visits Steve Trevor's sister. She then has a pop at Wonder Woman for why could you not have just left Steve alone? It's all your fault, kind of thing. Then Wonder Woman seeks to get revenge by going after Graves to get Steve Trevor back. Everybody tries to stop her. I say everybody, but more Green Lantern. And when you try to stop Wonder Woman and she's hell-bent on revenge, expect some resistance. Expect a bit of resistance. So she attacks Green Lantern, and this issue does get very interesting. She attacks Green Lantern, Superman gets involved, he gets himself kicked into the head. It's just unbelievable. She takes centre stage in that sort of fashion. They eventually can calm her down and contain her and everything. They then realise that fighting amongst themselves is not going to get them the answer that they're looking for. So they go to the Valley of the Souls, which is where Graves went to seek the power that he now has. And Valley of the Souls is a place of where you can actually see your loved ones who have passed away, including Steve Trevor. That's interesting. So by issue 12, as you can see from the front cover, this did cause a bit of a stir. They are trapped in the Valley of Souls by seeing flashbacks or their memories of their loved ones. There's television coverage regarding the fight that they had between Superman, Green Lantern and Wonder Woman in particular. They're not sure if they can actually trust the Justice League, the public. Green Lantern is the only one that's fighting off the illusions that they're facing at the Valley of Souls, and everybody else is like sucked in, whereas Hal Jordan is like saying, guys, fight it, it's not real, it's not happening. David Graves enters, he starts to say, look, I can remove the misery from the world, people can be reunited with their loved ones who have passed away, kind of thing, and it'll make them happy. But it does, then an interesting twist appears. I'm not going to say what the twist is because it will give it quite away, but they eventually do take down Graves, to the point of where they take him down that he actually appears again as the frail old man that he was when he first went to the Valley of Souls to seek the power. And then something happens with Wonder Woman, and well, even though all throughout the story that's what's happening, a member of the Justice League decides that he's no longer wanting to be part of the team. Again, not going to say who, but again, if you read issue 12 you'll know. But I'm just going to finish off with that. Basically, there it is. That's the shot that everyone's sort of been going on about. But never mind. It was an interesting issue. It's better than what the cover suggests. So all I'm going to say is get it if you haven't yet. There are some interesting surprises in store, and especially what's going to come from September onwards. Now, don't forget, this month now, it's September. It's going to be 0 issues, so going to be 0 issues of Justice League, Aquaman, all that sort of stuff. And then from October, issue 13, we'll carry on from there. Everything's going to be revealed, I would imagine. But yeah, there you go. Anyway, that's it from me. Tomorrow I'll bring you some more comic book reviews, find out what they are then. Okay, bye.